error speaker? What's this? We don't know who's speaking, but apparently it's Dan Rock. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hi, welcome back to another video. So our last video was insane. Basically, like, I don't know. I'm not in with the cool kids, but you know what they say, the goat of the whole battle was Ulfar. If it wasn't for Ulfar, we would have lost that. We would have lost it. Everybody died except for obviously Titania and Ulfar. And my gosh, I am looking forward to getting out of this hellhole. I want to say hi everyone who's new, and hi who are not new. Thank you so much for all the subscribes and the likes. You guys are amazing. And if you are new, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. So let's go into the webway. I can't wait to get out of this place. I really can't wait to get out of this place and start the next like leg of the game. Though I always get really sad because I'm feeling as if maybe that it's going towards the end of the game. And I'm like, I don't want this game to end. I just want it to continue and I just want to fly around space and, you know, like, I want to meet the Tyranids. Like, I want to see those things. I want to fight those things. I want to fight some more Chaos Marines. I want to do all the things.
With the physical horrors of Camorra behind them, a long and arduous journey possible only with the help of a Xenos guide lay ahead for the rogue trader and her party. From one strange destination to the next, through unknowable environments, the mere sight of which could drive one to madness.
I want to experience the madness. Come on.
Despite the challenges, they managed to escape the labyrinthian webway and find their way back home.
Oh, home? Question mark? Is this... Wait, is this Janus? I don't know, actually. Maybe not. An old man, poorly shaved commoner in worn coveralls, eyes you with suspicion. He's clutching an autogun that looks like it is one careless reload away from falling apart. The man narrows his eyes and inquires, "Oi! You are a lot." Oh, sorry, who are you lot? No, you are a lot. What? You're not bandits, are ye? Upon noticing a non-human in your retinue, the old man grimaces with contempt and clutches the aquila hanging around his neck. And chumming around with inhuman scum, no less. Begone, you lanky freak, I compel you in Saint Cognatius's name, in Saint Nicomedes Keith's name, in Saint Drusus's name. Ekelindil casts a weary eye over the commoner and inquires quietly, "Is this monkey possessed, or simply mad?" "I am mistress of this planet, Titania von Shire von Venantis, and I require something of you." "Blessed throne, you're joking me. Her ladyship in here in the backwoods. What an honour, big ol' honour this." The man drops to his knees and tries his best to hide his travesty of a firearm, pretending that he was not just pointing it at your chest a moment ago. "I'm just low-born, small, humble man. I've only ever seen your lustrous visage on all the icons in the temples of the capital." "So who are you?" "I'm a scout, your ladyship. I wander the woods. I test the soil." Taking great care, the old man reaches into his sack and pulls out a scratched auspex with a long spike wrapped in a muddy rag. "Tech priest told me, once 1,000 steps you walked, thrust the mystical probe into the soil, say a prayer, then press the smaragdine seal, offer 3 prayers to the Emperor, and then press the ruby seal. Thus will the probe test the land and tell you what minerals dwells within. What do people of Janus say about my abduction? The man gives you a puzzled look. What's that? Did some rotter abduct you? You could have perpetrated such villainy. Kidnapping her ladyship, the nerve. We ain't heard nothing here on Janus. How are things in the colony? Now, I won't shame myself by complaining. We live thanks to the God Emperor and your ladyship. We pray for your health every day. Our newest master, the Ultra Inquisitors, they're a dignified bunch. They fancy the learning type, though. No good ever comes from scholars, but on the upside, they are paying you thrones for your service. Can you believe it? I hadn't seen a throne in my whole life, and they are giving us 2 for every month's work. His expression darkens. There's this plague going around on Janus, though. Make your hair fall out, your skin go pale, and your voice disappear. Turns normal emperor-fearing people into right freaks, scum of humanity. We call folks like that wretches. Scary to look at. Better put them all down. Well, we do, little by little, with poison. Is the governor well? Can't say I have the foggiest. I've never even heard of the governor's name. But it still beats living under the accursed heretic Vistenza the Bloodsucker. I need a shuttle, and some means of contracting the astropathic choir, so I can summon my void ship here. In a jiffy, your ladyship, please be welcome to our flying ferry. It's right over yonder in the bush. It's in the brush, not the bush. It's also where our expedition box of wizard is staying. Ekelendil shoots you a keen look and asks coldly, will your capital offer protection? I do not wish to exchange one prison for another. The old man glances at the Farseer suspiciously. Will that there chattermug be flying to the capital with you, your ladyship? He's got an awful big mouth. He looks like trouble. Shackle the Xenos and keep him imprisoned until my ship arrives. Will do, your ladyship. Can't let Xeno scum like him walk free. He eagerly points his weapon at the Farseer. The monkey turned out to be a traitor. How shocking. Hey, keep your wisecracks to yourself. If I hear you badmouth her, lady, I'll shoot your floppers clean off. Floppers. Floppers. I do like that. I am not taking it any more. I was very nice to Juliet. I should have murdered Juliet, but from now on, no. I am against Xenos. I am so over Xenos right now. Everything about them have just completely... I'm done with them. First, Juliet betrayed me, and then I was thrown into some sort of mind mangled thing. Not having it. Oh, it's good to be home. The high-ranking officers beam with genuine happiness. Danrock steps forward and solemnly says, "Welcome to the bridge, Lord Captain. Like the rest of the crew, we are overjoyed by your return and thank the Emperor for it." The crew stares in awe and terror at the giant towering over the crowd. Some make the sign of the Aquila on their chests. Other collapses to their knees with a prayer to the God Emperor on their lips. This wave of pious shock does not seem to decompose Ulfar at the slightest. He just chuckles into his beard and glances around curiously. "Serene light of my eyes, I am overjoyed to see you among us once more. Truly, the Exalted One is merciful for showing you the way back home. I hope all the Ashmags who left us to languish without our Lord Captain have already become food for the warp demons." "Lord Captain, I am so glad to see you. I nearly lost it when you were up and disappeared on me. I was getting by on stimulants and recaf. I barely slept. All I could do keep listening to whispers for any clue on how to find you. And the only other time I felt so powerless was when Lady Theodora..." She stops. Pardon me, Lord Captain, I'm talking nonsense. First off, how much do you know about my abduction? Not much, Lord Captain. All contact with your party was lost shortly after the supposed pirates boarded the ship and abducted your companions, kinspeople. We immediately sent shuttles with boarding parties to your aid, but we didn't find anyone on the ship save for the crew, all of whom had either been butchered or driven insane. Gilead's expression is inscrutable, but her eyes are fixed on you, and you alone. Since your ladyship's body was never recovered, we hoped against hope that you were still alive. Alas, even our most alert auger operators never spotted anything suspicious, and thus our ignominious failure put you in dire peril. Dare we inquire what happened to your ladyship? Gilead helped the Dracaria abduct me and take me to the Comora. Hostile stares fix on Gilead, and a spiteful whisper whipped through the air. Xenos scum. Where has my ship been all this time? The officers' council decided to take the ship to Footfall, where one can hear the gossip of the entire expanse. Our agents tirelessly searched for information about your ladyship. Had we heard even a whisper of where you were imprisoned, we would have immediately launched a rescue expedition. Whilst you were absent, Lord Captain, we made every effort to find you. That resulted in a number of modifications to the ship that have significantly upgraded it, thanks to the favourable deals secured by the esteemed High Factome. The ship is now equipped and with state-of-the-art auger systems and direction finders from the Kiava Gamma. That is quite enough fawning and fussing. I wish to return to my duties immediately. Error speaker? What's this? We don't know who's speaking, but apparently it's Danrock. Danrock throws up his hands. But the crew is overcome with joy and gratitude to the God Emperor. Nonetheless, your will is absolute. I fact, Tanrus said, there you go, he's now speaking. I don't know who that person was speaking. The Factum smacks his lips awkwardly and adds in a quiet voice. Lord Captain, the senior officers will report to you shortly. In your absence, we received a number of astropathic messages and dispatches that demand your attention. Maybe we should have had a party. Nomos! The group of servitors suddenly stirs. Their movement frighteningly identical even for an automaton. They stare at you and say in perfect unison, Hello. Nomos has come to welcome you back. We sense that a great deed has been done, a vivid imprint on existence. You did something very important. What was it? I triumphed over the enemies of humanity by pitting the arch-enemy's blight against that of a Xenos. One day, they will all fall before the sacred flame. For now, we can be satisfied with having enemies of terror destroy one another. Did Nomos say it correctly? The servitor chorus, which sounds as a single voice, falls silent. Nomos appears to be waiting for your response in eager anticipation. Your curiosity deserves approval. A servant should strive to understand their mistress. Nomos has poor understanding of the concept of servitude. We must reflect. The chorus of servitor pauses as if the controlling entity is busy thinking. We must go now. We will come to speak with you later. Another pause follows, so long that the silence becomes more piercing than a scream, and then the servitors finally break it. We are glad to see order restored, and the head of the dynasty resume her reign. We were concerned about you and your well-being. One can detect with a naked eye that the moment when Nomos leaves the bridge, the servitors stop moving in sync and slowly shuffle off to their posts. that is. I'm about to find out. Oh, it looks different from the side. Your ladyship, I must report highly compromising information about a member of your retinue, namely Mistress J. Hidari, who it turns out is nothing of the sort but a commoner, a fugitive from the law, and a deserter from the Imperial Guard. I have solid evidence to prove this. This evidence had better be controvertible. The Factum bows and holds out a data flat slate to you. It is all here, your ladyship. Official records from the Administratum, attestations from the Departamento Munitorium, and much more besides. I want to know the details. I may have overlooked some nuisances, but I have solid evidence that the person whom we presently know as J. Hidari served in the 19th East Fruit Regiment and was identified as the perpetrator of numerous instances of theft and smuggling, as well as desertion. And this individual is not of a noble birth, but of the lowest origins. And how did you come to know this? In your ladyship's absence, the burden of watching over the dynasty's treasury fell upon my shoulders. I deemed J. Hidari the likeliest threat to the dynasty's material security. I had my people conduct an investigation, and they uncovered a past connection between Hidari and an individual by the name of Mercy, a highly influential figure in the Casablanca mission, with a dangerous reputation. Fearing that the I cannot read tonight. Predatory interests of the Casablanca would pose a threat to your coffers, I began my own investigation. It was entirely reasonable to suspect a collusion of some kind between Hidari and Mercy, and so my suspicions were confirmed. The two were connected. It was from Mercy's associates that I acquired the compromising intelligence on Hidari. I wish to see J. Hidari. We have something to discuss. Oh dear. Shopped me, did you, you little wannabe quester? Jay's voice and bearing undergoes a stark transformation. Biting soldier slang cuts through her typically gentle speech. Don't miss a thing, your servants, Titania von Shire, and they're sneaky as too. They'll climb up a Grox's arse to find out what they want to know. I think we need to talk about your past. Only if this scum slings his hook. Jay nods at the now much paler Danrock.
Well, your ladyship, ask away. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to try to wriggle out of it.
So tell me your real story.
So what do you want to hear, Shireen? A children's tale about a beautiful princess? A ballad about a queen of thieves? How about a new story, Shireen? Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock, and the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. The girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs, on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. She did this every day until she turned 16, and then his servants came and drafted the girl into the 19th Ifrit Regiment. Can you imagine? Of course, the regiment was wiped out on its first sortie, but the girl survived. The Exalted One protects. So what was next? Years serving in the Astra Militarum, just a shitload of hard labor, and fighting, and deals, and shady connections, and new opportunities. But everything in this world ends sooner or later, Shireen. The now not-so-little girl went and fell in with the Casbalika. She saved up a little gold, and she even indulged in excess from time to time, until living the good life almost cost the little girl her head after her patrons got caught in an internal investigation between the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitorum. So the girl ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, until her eyes and the whims of fortune brought her to the expanse. Shitty story, all things considered, Shireen.
Oh, I knew you were no princess.
Oh, really, Shireen? And there I thought you were quite ready to believe my time-honed thespian performance.
Do you have family?
The folks on Footfall are my only family, Shireen. The trickster twins and the rest of the rabble, plain-talking and loyal as dogs. And sometimes as dull as the pommel of a worn-out blade.
So you used to be in the Imperial Guard.
Corporal Haydari reporting for duty, ma'am. I've had enough of the Astra Militarum shit to last a lifetime, Shireen. And my body's collected enough souvenirs from run-ins with Xenos and heretics to last 2 lifetimes. Except when it comes to the Guard, there's no such thing as used to be. That wretched life sank its claws into me good. But that also means I remember what it's like to be a small, shaking, insignificant pawn. And that's why I appreciate what I have now, all the more.
And how did you get involved with the Casablanca?
What? You think it's difficult? Once me and my fellow guardsmen snuck into the upper city in search of a good watering hole where the high and mighty of that world congregated. Another time, our regiment was sent to defend the tallest spires on a hive world. And I had an epiphany. I saw how the other half lives. And by half, I mean the ones born with a diamond spoon in their mouth instead of an entrenching shovel rammed up their arse. My eyes were open to the truth, Shireen. The Imperium is full of opportunities, even for people like myself. The trick is knowing whose palms to grease, whose boots to lick, whose throat to squeeze, and whose arses to kick. I was very popular with everyone in the Guard Command, you see. I'd procure things for them, whatever they wanted. And so the Kasbalika took notice.
So you are a deserter as well.
You know, Shireen, I could still be bouncing around from one world to another, holed up on tired old ships with only venal grunts for company, if I hadn't decided I wanted more for my life. I accepted a shipment from the Kasbalika of certain chemicals. You know, for carnal pleasures and the like. Some bigwig was throwing a party to celebrate his 5th decade in the service. And that's when I caught the attention of the newly arrived commissar. I was rummaging through the pockets of Astra Militarum with one hand and shuffling the Kasbalican cargo with the other. You can imagine what would have happened to my head had the commissar not started with my higher-ranked patrons.
That explains the lung implant, but what about the hand?
It was orcs. Not everything I say is a lie, Shireen.
I see.
Whoop the
Oh!
Never mind.
Who is this Mercy that Danrock is accused of associating with?
We knew each other once. He helped me make the move to the Expanse and establish my first connections. But that's an old story I prefer not to poke at if I can help it. Things are good in my life now, and I don't need mercy.
And about your new persona?
Are you worried I'm going to start spitting on the deck and shriveling your officers' ears with my foul tongue? Don't be, Shireen. I much prefer being seen as a princess rather than a deserter. I'll continue to play the part in front of the others, but you wanted to talk frankly, so I've dropped the act.
I mean... Oh my god, my chair is so squeaky. This is like... I just realized we're fully... The issue I have here is... The biggest thing here is that she's a deserter. You know. And if I'm correct, also, while she was still kind of serving, she was she stealing from you know, not from us, but you know, from the Emperor's people and all. I think the main question here is what I would have asked is, are you stealing from me? would be something I would ask, but it sounds like she just... See, I don't trust anyone anymore. I didn't think Juliet would backstab me with the Tricari. I would really, really like to hope that Jay doesn't backstab me with the crime syndicate. It might still be good to have her on our side, because I reckon we still haven't really had much dealings with that crime syndicate. So I think we have covered everything. Return to your duties.
Sir, yes, sir. Your ladyship, Sherry. I'll be here, all primed and ready to go.
Jay's lips curve into a faint smile now that the seal of silence has been shackled them. The years has finally been broken. Now, I don't think I'm too worried about her at the moment. Danrock adjusts his jacket before addressing you. Now then, Lord Captain, shall we get to business? We have a number of items to go over. The Expanse is in flames, your ladyship. Squadrons and smaller groups of despicable Drakari raids our systems. The cult of the Final Dawn has emerged in full force, wreaking havoc everywhere. We've heard rumours of the fall of the Sentinel's Pride House. Sentinel's Pride, House Chorder's world. An outrageous sacrilege given how abundant and inexpensive Prometheum is there. And strife has broken out between House Winterscale and House Chorder. Chaos reigns everywhere. Only the esteemed Lord Inquisitor is trying to fight it, concentrating all available forces at footfall to draw them into a fist that will smash the rampaging heretics and Xenos vermin. Now, what kind of Xenos are attacking the Expanse? Drakari, your ladyship. Their squadrons, both large and small, are invading the Expanse, unleashing carnage on planets and taking captives by the thousands and attacking ships. It is as if something has poked their nest, if you will, and now they are lashing out. And how fare the worlds of my dynasty? The heretics' malicious acts make it difficult to maintain astropathic contacts with the colonies. The cult of the Final Dawn strikes everywhere, and their sleeper agents are active on every planet. On Vibos, is that 6? 5? 6. And mutiny was crushed after a group of newly arrived prisoners succumbed to the blasphemous propaganda. But other words stand firm against the onslaught of the enemies of humanity and do not succumb to their pernicious influence. So, Xavier Calcazar is leading the defense. Exactly. The esteemed Lord Inquisitor Calcazar has declared himself Warden of the Coronis Expanse and issued orders to requisition troops. He has made Footfall his base of operations, as it was the most logistically convenient point. From there, his fleet strikes throughout the Expanse, destroying the forces of the Cult of the Final Dawn and the abominable Drakari. He may be all that currently stands in the way of the Expanse being reduced to ashes. When heretics laid siege to Ulthrate's II, the hallowed forge of the Cogniciant's fleet, the Lord Inquisitor sent an enormous force. Now they and the Explorator squadrons recalled from the front line stand together against the heretics in the Battle of the Sacred Planet. And what is the source of strife between Incedia and Caligos? When the esteemed Lord Inquisitor called upon the rogue traders to join his forces, her ladyship Incedia Chorda heeded summons, while his lordship Caligos Windscale ignored it. Rumour has it that his refusal was defiant in a manner, and served as the pretext for Lady Chorda to declare war on House Winterscale. Windscale ships are being hunted and his world occupied under the pretense of compelling them to submit to the Imperial Creed. Surprisingly, for all his love of fighting, Winterscale is in no hurry to defend his domain. According to the intercepted astropathic messages, he and his retinue are currently on Quetzal Tema, hunting down the Xenos fleet of Dari by all appearance. Is there anything else I should know? The Factotum lowers his head and thought. There have been other minor developments. If you so wish, I will gladly bring you up to speed on the bridge. I would not want them to take away any time from this occasion. Thank you for your report. Lord Captain. Abelard bows his head. Allow me to make a request. A personal one. While you were away, Zachary Weiss received an astropathic message from Dargonus. It concerns my family. The Wisserians have been accused of treason against House von Valantius. What? How is that possible? I cannot comprehend it. The seneschal shakes his head helplessly. The Wisserians have served the Rogue Trader dynasty loyally for generations. This is hard to admit, but the news has come as a crushing blow. The accusations were levelled on behalf of the Drivestones, the governing house. Under normal circumstances, the investigation would not have required your involvement, and my entire family would have been... But being of noble stock, the Wisserians are entitled under an ancient custom to petition for a rogue trader's personal protection once in a generation. Your personal protection, Lord Captain. Abelard raises his gaze to you. Do not deny us that honour, I implore you. Abelard, but what if your family is guilty? Then the traitors will accept their due punishment. I have never rallied on my position as an immunity guarantee, and I will not even try to sway your decision as long as it is fair and balanced. Tell Zachary Weiss to send a message to Dargonus saying I will personally take part in this investigation. Abelard breathes a sigh of relief and seems to grow an inch or two taller. It will be done, Lord Captain. Oh no! Uh-oh. God, everyone wants to speak to me. Idira hurriedly enters the study, sniffing and hunching her shoulders. She looks haggard. There are bags under her eyes, her hair is dishevelled, and her hands quiver slightly every few moments, and with some effort she focuses her eyes on you and forces a crooked smile. Thank you for agreeing to hear me out, Lord Captain. Here's the deal. After all that had happened recently, the voices in my head suddenly flared up and started gabbling worse than before. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm handling them just fine, but I think I know a way I can get them to settle down a bit. I keep having the same vision over and over again. I'm walking down a corridor, and there's this door at the end, and I just know that right behind that door is blissful silence. All I've got to do is reach out and open it. So I touch it with my fingers. I can feel the cold, rough metal, and then suddenly I snap out of it, and always find myself staring at a wall in some compartment or other. I look behind me and all the doors in the way are open, but I have no memory of how I got there. Lord Captain, I'll cut to the chase. Please help me find that door. I'm not joking. This is a matter of life and death. My gut tells me it's my last chance to deal with my powers, and if I don't... She trails off. Before I make my decision, I have questions to ask you. Absolutely, Lord Captain. Ask me anything and I'll try my best to answer. What do you think is behind this door? I have no idea. Maybe it's some incredible implant from Tech Priest's secret stores. Or, I don't know, a serum kept in the Inquisition's vault. There's such a thing as the Architech, right? Incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. Plenty of it lying around. Maybe some of it could help me. Adira is trying to maintain a facade of confidence while simultaneously pulling at the hangnail so hard her finger begins to bleed. Do your visions contain any clues on where to start looking? Vague ones. As usual, I think I can hear the muffled cries of some weird birds, and my head is sweating like it's somewhere hot. I'm surrounded by rockcrete, your everyday Imperial stuff, except it reeks of burnt flesh, fried cables, and chemicals. Sorry, that's about it. Nothing more concrete, but I think if we get close enough, I'll sense it immediately. Is the door you describe similar to the door your whispers come from? No. Well, I don't know. It feels different. The one from the visions feels very... I don't know. Real. I can't even touch it. It's definitely not an illusion. It really does exist somewhere. And trust me, neither of us want to open the other door, the whispering one. What if it's a trap? No way, it can't be. Whatever, I'll go in alone if you like. Just please help me get there. I have no more questions. Idira nods and looks at you anxiously. We will find this door, I give you my word. I am actually quite interested now. I want to know I want to know what's behind said door. What is behind door number 1? Anyone else want to talk to me now? Okay. This will be interesting. Titania von Scheil. Henrix gives you a curt nod and greeting. I apologize for barging in unannounced. I have received news that I must discuss with you face to face. Oh, so it's not. This isn't for pleasure? Well, okay. You may recall that I mentioned that Archelaus. Henrix pauses before continuing. That Archelaus Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague. The colleague in question has contacted me. She requires my immediate assistance. Who is this colleague? Henrix hesitates for a moment before answering. Amelina Lichenhardt, sage to the Lord Inquisitor. Tell me more about Amelina. Amelina? Who is she? An acolyte who was assigned to different range of objectives in the Coronis expanse. Henrix trails off, then shakes his head. Throne take me. I am still trying to hide information from you, even when I am asking for your help. Emelina is a sage, a unique acolyte of the Inquisition who can absorb huge amounts of knowledge and store it in her own memory more securely than any data crypt. She entered the Lord Inquisitor's retinue before even I did. Talking to her is a strange experience. But that is barely scratching the surface of who she is. Amelina is an incredible scholar, an expert on the forbidden and illicit. And, of course, she is a loyal servant to the Golden Throne. Just talking to her is a strange experience. What does that mean? Henrix locks his fingers and says nothing for a few seconds. Since birth, Emelina has been different from other people. Specialists from the Inquisition enhanced her natural gift of hypermencia. There are certain procedures that can be done. She creates separate blocks of memory, which she can then lock under a code word or even overwrite with new information. She can organize her mind like a normal person arranges boxes on a shelf. One box might contain information about a recent mission in the Calyxes, another the latest decrees of the Lex Imperialis, another her own childhood memories. This level of compartmentalization might seem somewhat insane to the untrained eye, but it is the price one must pay to turn an ordinary servant into a useful tool of the Inquisition. She said the forbidden and illicit. What does that entail? Emelina carries knowledge that is forbidden to the common servants of the Imperium. She carries this knowledge within herself, as it cannot be entrusted to logs or cognigators. Henrix frowns. I said before that acolytes of the Inquisition must shoulder a heavy burden to come into contact with things that can penetrate and corrupt souls. For sages, this is an especially trying ordeal. Emelina's hypermnesia has been enhanced so that she now remembers everything she sees. However briefly. After many years of service, she has examined and seen enough to become an unrivaled expert in this field. You speak of her with obvious affection. Henrix's eyebrows lifts. Emelina is a worthy acolyte and an invaluable tool in the Inquisition's arsenal. I admire her traits and talents. See if I go over this blue and it's going to say, isn't it, your actions made him callous. Your influence has made Henrix more callous. I really, 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 really wanted to see him be less callous. You failed to mention that Calgusar has other agents operating in the Cronus Expanse. I didn't fail to mention it. I deliberately concealed the information. Divulging the location of the Inquisition's agents could threaten not only the acolytes themselves, but also the results of their endeavors. I believe I have a clear picture of Emelina now. What was her message? Emelina's message is incomplete and distorted. It is impossible to make sense of every word. The only thing we know for certain is that an acolyte of the Inquisition is asking me to go immediately to Photon 4? A remote planet. In her message, she seems to be requesting either military support or help with an evacuation. But whoever precipitated this request, Emelina would not make it if it weren't absolutely necessary. I know a rogue trader has more than enough other matters to deal with. Nevertheless, I would like to officially request the Lord Captain's assistance in dealing with this issue. Henrix inclined his head. I have no authority to demand anything from House von Valancius. Therefore, I am confining you to a request for the sake of the Cronus Expanse and the Imperium. How did you circumvent me and require this information from the astropath message? The interrogator's eyes lift. Lord Captain, a rogue trader may be in a position to challenge the Inquisition's authority over their soul, mind, and actions, but a rogue trader's astropath and box officers? Hardly. Is there any hint of what is exactly threatening Photon? I really need to learn my Roman numerals. Henrik says nothing for a time, then he begins to speak, slowly as though he is fighting against resistance. For the avoidance of leaks, the details of the objectives of specific acolytes shall remain a secret. All I can tell you is that the primary threat that Emelina was dealing with in the Cronus Expanse was Xenos. In particular, Drakari raids on distant systems. A sage is ideally suited for gathering data about the chronology of this problem and finding appropriate methods for combating it. As for what Emelina is doing on Photon, specifically, I do not know. I don't even know any details about the world itself, only that there are humans there, so either it has been colonized or a garrison has been established there. The cult of the Final Dawn has been my top priority here, and my investigation has given me no cause to turn my attention to that planet. Now I shall help you. We shall go to Photon and put an end to this threat. Henrix bows. Thank you, Lord Captain. I am confident that this minor deviation from our primary course will help stem the spread of anarchy in the Cronus Expanse, if only slightly. At the very least, we won't be outflanked. I have already spoken to the navigation crew and provided them with the coordinates. We can set course for it as soon as you give the order. Okay, it's Juliet's time. Enough. Xenos, justice will be done, one way or another. Henrix's voice drips with venom. Sliver all you like, heretic spawn, but you will never leave this ship unscathed. The bridge is enveloped in unusual silence. The officers on duty are huddling in the corners, looking on curiously at what is transpiring in the center. What is going on? Catching sight of you, the curious crew members dash to their posts, leaving only the senior officers in the middle of the bridge. For how long are you going to tolerate this filth on your ship, Titania von Shire? This foul traitor who has already dragged you into the darkness once and who almost left your protectorate without its sovereign. Rogue trader. Henrik's voice makes your blood run cold. Has Eldari heresy clouded your judgment? Treachery always means death, either for you, either for the traitor, or the one who betrayed. You almost died in Comora. Your retinue? You know what became of them. Is it not high time that justice was done? Those present nod wordlessly, but do not dare to interfere. Now, this is a fine spectacle. The inhuman get what she deserves. Let us all watch and laugh. Juliet does not react to the curses being slung at her. With an unperturbable expression, she watches the crowd before her. Then she turns her gaze to you. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? You know, Lord Captain, I will support any order you give. But to keep the Xenos in the retinue, especially after everything. Abelard casts a tense look at the lower bridge. After everything that has transpired because of her, it would not have been wise. The heinous behavior pattern of the Xeno entity and the specimens similar to her statistically leads to unfavorable and unpredictable outcomes. Gilead blankly surveys the crowd. I did say that I didn't expect to have to do this. Like, I expected there to be, like, give her one slip up. But I dare say after all this, there is no slip up. I'm really unsure what to do here. Purely because she is a great, like, in battle, she has been fantastic. However, you know, Ulfa, not a sniper, no, but massive tank who seems to get the job done. So, yeah. Yeah. I did say I'd give it to the Inquisition. So, I feel bad. Do me a favor, Henrix. Predatory grin spreads across the interrogator's face. With great pleasure. Henrik shakes off his hands in disgust before putting the Xenos to sleep. I will interrogate her. I still have many questions that need answers. Well, there you go. Juliet is no longer part of our retinue. It feels not good. I'll not lie. It doesn't feel good. Let me get my athletics up. It doesn't feel good at all. It really doesn't. I don't like it, but it is exactly what I would expect. All right, he has 3 types. Got. Can we do this shit? No, not yet. I'm very confused. Oh, it's unlocked. Yeah, unlocked. Okay. $95. $120 athletics. Nice. Oh dear me, I don't know what to make of that. I truly don't. I truly don't.